Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining us for today's session and live webinar entitled, go ahead and get that up, Agility and Efficiency in Regulatory Affairs, How to Automate Your Regulatory Monitoring and Tracking. Brought to you by Clarivate and Astrix Technology. We can go to the next slide, please. Before we get into today's presentation, we're going to tell you a little bit about Astrix. If you have not been a part of this very extensive webinar series that we've been running, I'll tell you a little bit about that. We've been bringing in thought leaders from throughout the world, actually, now on lab informatics, what the future of the lab is, where labs are going from a technology standpoint. And the reason we're doing that is because Astrix plays right in the middle of all of that. We're an informatics professional services and strategic outsource solutions company that's dedicated 100% to serving the scientific community. And this webinar series that we're doing and a lot of the content that we put out is designed to help educate, which Astrix feels is very important, as well as help people understand where technology in the lab is going. A little bit about us, if you haven't been on any of our sessions, we were established in 1995. We're privately held. We originated actually as the IT division of APBI Life Science Research Organization. Today we operate from 7 offices in the United States in beautiful Costa Rica, and we are headquartered in Red Bank, New Jersey. Who we help is Fortune 1000 life science enterprises, chemical, CPG, government research institutions, typically companies with fast-growing IT and outsourced compliance needs. Our mission is to deliver scalable, sustainable solutions for the scientific community. We can go to the next slide, please. What this means is we bring end-to-end services that span the complete life cycle of scientific data systems. And that's from the very beginning where we have solutions for business process analysis and enterprise architecture design. This is where we come into companies and we learn about how they work, and we help understand the type of technology infrastructure or tech stack that they need, and what are the processes that they need to automate to achieve their goals. From there, we help them through laboratory technology selection services. We go out and we find companies, like Clarivate, to bring into our customers when the need arises and when it's a good fit. We then can help with development and implementation of these solutions, and finally, we do computer systems validation of anything we put in. From there, we can have personnel remote or on site to help with laboratory services, system services. This could be upgrades. This could be ongoing training. This could be additional upgrades. This could be integration with other systems, reporting, analytics. And then finally, we have scientific and technical staffing services. A whole staffing division of our company helps to bring in experts on both the scientific side as well as the technology side when appropriate. That's enough about Astrix. We just wanted you to understand, who we are in this industry and why we're presenting this content with you today. So with that, I'd like to go to the next slide, please. And we can introduce our speaker today. Julia Matagulina is a solutions architect enabling technologies at Clarivate. She's a project manager and custom solutions architect for the life science professional services, providing support of the service, product development, and management. She brings 9 years of extensive experience as a research scientist, working with systems biology data analysis and the interpretation for pharmaceutical and biotech, and has a PhD in biology. We're very excited to have her speak today. Julia, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and I'll come back on at the end. We have you on mute, so just give me 1 sec here. Julia, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You can go right ahead.
Oh, great. Thank you, Kevin, and hello, everyone. So I'm going to start directly with our topic today, and give me a quick second. Can I? Yep. And first of all, I want to start with the brief introduction on what actually regulatory intelligence is. So regulatory intelligence at its core is responsible for ensuring awareness and preparation in response to changes in the global regulatory landscape. Regulatory intelligence, it's not just accumulation of necessary data. It is a process of providing strategic information that underpins the making of effective decisions in relation to the regulatory aspects of business. This process covers the wide range of activities, including the collection of the regulatory data analysis and prioritization, communication of the regulatory data to the proper stakeholders, regulatory data assessment and generation of information for the definition of the future regulatory strategy of the organization. And of course, continuous monitoring of the regulatory environment, looking for regulatory trending, evaluation, follow-up, and comments and responses with health authorities. With continuously changing local and global regulations and increasing complexity of regulatory compliance, pharmaceutical companies simultaneously face multiple challenges. So they need to keep up with the new and changing regulations, maintain and manage properly regulatory demands on all levels, timely connect experts and provide appropriate communication. And all that puts high burden of maintenance and time-consuming work to support all that. And even on top of existing complexity, COVID-19 pandemic has led to significant increase in guidance updates by global and local regulatory authorities. So obviously, the value of a dedicated and well-organized in-house regulatory intelligence function cannot be underestimated. Regulatory intelligence processes can be managed either manually or using automated monitoring and processing. And of course, many companies use manually managed monitoring and gathering of regulatory information by various means. So by variable searches across multiple data sources, subscribing for data distribution newsletters, or setting specific site alerts and monitoring specific alerts. And after all that manual collection, relevant information is found and processed also manually by the means of sharing the data in Excel or Word files on the SharePoint, or sending a chain of information emails. As opposed to that, automated approach provides more consistent automatic data monitoring and upload in one site. It provides unified data search and filtering, and the single system for information storage and knowledge sharing. So let's take a look at the pros and cons of both manual and automated processes. So manual process, of course, has a lot of its benefits. It means a lot of flexibility. It can be very accurate and controllable due to human expertise. And it can be also very efficient for taking local decisions. But at the same time, it has its disadvantages. It is very labor intensive. It is time consuming. It can be subjective and inconsistent, well, also due to human impact. And also communicating of the information efficiently on a global level becomes challenging with just manually managed process. So on the contrary, in the automated approach, the data is streamlined to a single source. The data is consistently updated and controlled and harmonized. So this allows to use human resources more efficiently and not to spend additional time on search or harmonization. And the communication is streamlined within just one set of tools that can be used globally across different departments. Certainly, implementing of new automated processes when an organization already has established manual process, it requires some additional time for adaptation and system users training. But at the end, using the automation of regulatory intelligence processes provides multiple benefits for the companies who decide to endorse it. So using of automated processes and artificial intelligence in document processing facilitates integrated approach for regulatory documents identification and tracking across multiple data resources. It provides agile and consistent, streamlined regulatory change management process with easily identifiable stakeholders. It builds confidence by creating a unified, structured processes of monitoring and surveillance. And it establishes transparency across all the company groups of experts. So I have a question, so would like to ask you and to know what approach does your organization use for regulatory information search and processing?
Yes, and Julie, real quick.
So you can...
Julie, real quick. What I'd like to do is we'd have you use the question function. We're going to have you use the question function. So just go into your question section, and if you can just go ahead and type your answer. This is for the audience. So for the audience, you see the question is on the screen. So just go ahead and answer your question for you. And as we're going through the presentation, I will get the results, and we'll give those results at the end of the presentation. So let's go ahead and just take a minute so everybody can have a chance to look at the question and have a look at the answers. And again, if you can just put your questions in there, I'll be tallying those up for you. And when we come back on at the end, I'll tell you who won. So we'll give it about another, I'd say,
thank you, Kevin.
No worries. We'll give it about another 20 seconds or 30 seconds and let everybody get their answers in. And then we'll go ahead and proceed.
Yeah, great. I can quickly cover like 3 options of the answer and
Absolutely.
quickly explain them. So the first option, so your organization use manual data search and retrieving, like basically using like human resources and multiple data sources to actually find the data, and also manual processing, which includes more like using of local files and systems and SharePoints. So your company use automated search, which like relying on specific tool that retrieves regulatory data automatically, but then applies manual processing of the data. Or your organization uses both automated search using specific tools for retrieving the data, and also automated processing using the tool that organizes some established workflows for regulatory document analysis, review, assessment. So three options.
Great. And as I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and tally these results up for everybody. And when we're wrapped up, I'll provide those results.
Okay, thank you. So
we can proceed.
I think I can move forward. And thank you for your answers in advance. It will be interesting to know the results. So yeah, let's move forward. Taken from here, different companies and groups of experts, of course, they will be using different approaches for data search, surveillance, and data analysis, and they will have different needs for organizing their internal regulatory intelligence process and change management and monitoring. Ideally, so if we bring and provide the automated tool for these purposes, this tool must be configurable and flexible enough and capable of supporting the unlimited number of custom workflows and review processes of various types of regulatory documents. So on the step of document surveillance and monitoring, administrators must be able to quickly identify all sorts of relevant documents and all groups of relevant documents, and also be able to see the latest updates of the documents highlighted appropriately. On the step of document assessment, subject matter experts should have access to the customized review and assessment workflows to be able to respond in different ways and take different kinds of actions on any type of the document. On the step of comment collection and tracking, coordinators should be able to define necessary workflows to organize and monitor commenting process. And of course, all the assessments, decisions taken, all the comments and other changes that were done to the document or around the document with internal processes should be permanently stored against the document for future reference and should be easily found. So let's now go over the typical regulatory workflow that is called call for comments. It's usually organized by regulatory authorities when they consider the revision of certain standards, and show how it can be efficiently organized with the means of a specific automated tool. So first of all, the automated data upload process from multiple sources allows to retrieve easily the latest documents issued by authorities specifically for call for comments. And after this data is uploaded and provided, business process owner using the discovery tools can quickly identify a relevant document and after that assign it to a subject matter expert for initial assessment. Subject matter expert gets notified within the tool immediately about the new document that came in, and he can review this document and using the tool nominate the coordinator for comment collection. As soon as coordinator is nominated, business process owner creates, again within the same tool, the specific tasks for comment collection and assign those tasks to coordinator. On the next level, coordinator collects the comments, links them to the tasks, and can complete all the assignments. Business process owner can continuously monitor the whole process using the tool and close the document once collection is completed to further send out the collected comments to authorities and take necessary actions within their organization. So let's take a closer look at the tool and pull a few examples showing how the parts of the workflow can be actually implemented. So to identify certain documents, business process owner just needs to open the system, and he will automatically see all the regulatory changes that are uploaded into the system as soon as they are released. So all those regulatory changes will be restricted to specific topics and countries or regions to cut out any unnecessary noise. Business process owner can easily detect latest updates and focus on relevant documents by identifying them by specific time frame, regulatory topic, document type of interest, or country or region. And as the next step of document assignment to subject matter expert, business process owner within the same system can review the detected document and assess if it is relevant or no for a specific action. So define document importance and accordingly set document status, document priority, document timeline for assessment process. And also assign the document to specific expert or group of experts. So that's how business process owner can start and set the communication chain within the company for the specific regulation. So after that, experts and coordinators will receive automatic email notifications about the documents that were discovered as new ones and that need assessment and action. So the automated notification cuts manual monitoring of regulatory documents and reduces the effort and ensures that regulatory teams are on top of changes and can communicate efficiently across the business. For the next step of the process of comment recording and tracking, experts and coordinators can all add information related to the specific documents into the system where it will be stored and available to all other users. So the information related to impact assessment and any links to external sources or internal company documents and all the communication history will be stored in one place and can be easily retrieved and referenced when necessary. So to summarize, the key considerations to endorse regulatory change management automation will be the efficient and time-saving collection of the data, focus on the actual data and constant data monitoring. Optimized and harmonized workflows for analysis and assessment and easily identifiable stakeholders that will be all gathered within one system. Speed and transparency of communication provided by a single platform and also the consistency of communicated messages. And last but not the least, of course, the data safety, secure data storage in one place, which is definitely important. So I think, yes, I think this is all.
Great. Yeah, you can go to that. You can go to that next slide, and then we'll see what kind of questions we have. And again, for everybody that might have joined a little bit after I went through it, you can go to the questions section right where you actually answered the poll questions, and you can type in any questions you have about the presentation. I know there's a couple on the floor already that I want to tackle. Before we get into that, as far as the the answers to the questions, overwhelmingly it was answer B. That was basically the winner. So that came in as the top, and A came in number 2. And C came in a distant last. So actually, if you want to go back to the screen where those poll questions were,
Yes.
we can just kind of go through again to reiterate, folks.
Yeah.
So B, automated search and manual processing was one by far, and then a distant second was manual data search and manual processing. And I don't think we got any for C, so I don't think C had any actual answers. So there you go. That was the results of the poll.
Yeah, that's not unexpected. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, so I want to get to some questions that came on the floor. You could go back to the last slide. All right, let me open these up. And again, folks, you can feel free to ask questions as I'm going through this as well. One of the things I want to do first is let's go ahead and get the